How's it everyone? Ferdi here from Raw Leadership. I am super excited and very honored to spend some time with you today. I know that you guys have been hard at work doing some academic development, and that is why this workshop will focus on something different. We want to come and add value to your life. But I want to start off by telling you a quick story. The year is 2005 and a young man from the small town in the Free State walks into the University of Pretoria. He is very unsure, doesn't know what he's doing, he doesn't know where he's going, but he made a decision to say, I'm gonna make the best of this opportunity. And in 2008 he graduated from the University of Pretoria with an honours degree. The young man went home and his mother asked him, son, what have you learned during your time at university? First thing that comes up in his mind is not the usual, I've gained so much knowledge with regards to academics, mom. The first thought that came to his mind was, my thinking completely changed. And that is what makes the University of Pretoria different. You know, the slogan of the University of Pretoria is leading minds. So once you've been part of the University of Pretoria, you don't just have a great academic qualification, but more importantly, your thinking will change. And that is part and parcel what we want to achieve in this workshop with you today. We want to activate your thinking about yourself and about those around you. A person's culture, a person's language, a person's eye color, a person's DNA, a person's preferences. But if we wanted to discuss those things that I just mentioned, we would have to go into a scientific conversation, which I'm not equipped for. But what I am equipped for is to talk about the topic of personalities. A very wise man once told me, when you work with people, you don't deal with a skin color, or an eye color, or a culture, or a DNA. You deal with a personality. And in order for us to become successful in what we do, we need to, number one, know who we are and how we fit in with other people. The second question that I wanted to ask you is, what does IQ mean? Well, IQ is an abbreviation for intelligence quotient. If we had to be honest, we put a lot of emphasis on developing in our intelligence. But the third question I wanted to ask you is, do you know what EQ means? EQ is the abbreviation for emotional quotient. And this is probably one of the areas that people put the least emphasis on when it comes to developing themselves. Your emotional quotient focuses on self-awareness. How do you perceive yourself in certain situations? How you deal with other people? How you deal with conflict, how you deal with crisis. And to be honest with you, I believe this is the most important area of development. Because going back to my example of UP, yes, I got a great academic, probably one of the best academic credentials in South Africa. But more importantly, I grew on an emotional level that helped enhance my capabilities to be effective when it comes to working with people. And that is the reason why we want to do this workshop with you today, is to, number one, get you to the place where you know who you are in terms of your personality, and secondly, have an understanding of other people's personalities, because that will help you in your journey to success. So we're going to start off this workshop with a quick assessment. We have got 4 identified personality groups that will be tested in this assessment. I'm not going to go into the details of the 4 categories now, but in session 2 we will have a complete debrief of what those personality groups stand for and how they are differentiated.
Alright, now that you have downloaded and printed the assessment, it is time to get started. Please make sure that you are in a quiet area where you can think clearly and make sound decisions. It is important to note that when we do assessments like this, that we do it as truthfully as possible. In front of you, you will see an assessment with a whole number of words. Your job is to work in rows, not in columns, rows. Rows flow horizontally and columns flow vertically. So we are going to be working in rows. So how to respond to the assessment? You need to rank each horizontal row of words on a scale of 1 to 4, with 4 being the word that best describes you and 1 being the word that least describes you. If you look at the example below, this is how you would complete each row. Now, let's move on to the first row. You will see the 4 words forceful, lively, shy, and tactful. I will be doing the first 2 rows with you, and from there on you will continue doing the assessment by yourself. So if I had to rate myself or rank those 4 words in the first row, I would give forceful a 3, I would give lively a 1, I would give shy a 2, I would give tactful a 4. Should you have any questions with regards to the definitions of words, please make sure that you pause the video and just quickly Google and find the right meaning for a particular word. Right, moving on to row number 2. I would give aggressive the value 3. Emotional, I would give it 2. Accommodating, I would give a 1. And inconsistent, I would give a 4. If you look at row 3, this is an example of what not to do when completing this assessment. As can be seen, the number 2 appears 3 times in one row. Should this happen, the assessment will not be conclusive, which means that you will not get the correct result. I want to stress this again. The values 4, 3, 2 and 1 needs to appear in every row that you complete. Righto, so once you have completed the whole assessment, please make sure that the numbers 4, 3, 2 and 1 appears in every single row that you have completed. Once you have double checked that, you can then take all the values of each column, add them together and insert the totals in its appropriate place. A method you can use to double check whether your assessment was completed successfully is to take the total of each column, add them together, and it should give you a value of 120.
Finished with the assessment? Great. What you need to do next is follow the link in the description, register quickly, enter the results of your assessment, and please submit the document. The registration and the submission of your results is very important. Why? Because we've got something special for you. Should you submit your results, we like keeping track of the statistics behind it, but it will also allow you the opportunity to become part of a small competition. After the completion of this workshop, one person will get the opportunity to take part in our Strength Finder assessment, but more on Strength Finder in session 2. I look forward to seeing you in session 2.